Hey, this is Mike. Thank you so much for choosing this video. Today we're checking out this is a 2024 Fiat 500e. Now this will apply also to the 2025 models as well for the most part. And this one is called Inspired by LA, and that's the name of the trim level, Inspired by LA. They have like Inspired by Beauty and have Inspired by other things, but this one is the Inspired by LA trim level. The name of this color is Marine Layer Mist exterior color, and it has like a pearl effect to it. It's really nice. I'm glad the sun is shining. Hopefully you can pick it up on camera. It's a really impressive color. You look at it at the angle, and it has like a little bit of a blue and a gray or more of a silver, I guess. But yeah, pretty interesting, really impressive. From a distance, it just kind of looks like an off-white, I guess, but when you get close to it and you see the light reflecting on it, you can really tell how cool it is. So if you're looking for a cute car, there's not a lot of cute cars available anymore. You know, like the Volkswagen Beetle is no longer made, the Scion IQ. I don't really consider the smart car a cute car. It's just a small car. This is intended to be cute, so this is one of the few offerings, especially an EV, so that narrows down even more. So this is pretty cool. So it has it's the 500 across the front. It has those little chrome strips there. Then you have some cooling vents at the bottom. There's parking sensors here in the front, and they're nicely integrated in the body colored right here, here. I like the way the turn signals have this little round effect there. And the same thing with the headlights. So you have a light there on the top, and then the bottom. It's kind of like a round effect, and then you have the projector headlight there, looking nice. Has like a depth, a little 3D effect to it. But yeah, mostly body colored here in the front. Has the little Italian colors here on the side. And then there's a chrome strip that extends here on the side. Really like the size of the vehicle. You know, it's just two-door, it's not overly big. It gives you plenty of interior room, especially the driver and passenger. It's pretty impressive actually when you get on the inside. It has a proximity key, and it's rounded and relative. I mean, it's a little bulky, but it's not that heavy, but it's very easy to just kind of slip in your pocket because it's so rounded. It has a lock, unlock, the ability to release the trunk, and a panic button as well. And the charge door is here on the passenger side. And it has the ability to charge, you know, DC fast charge or charge at home, which I would recommend just charging it at home. So yeah, it has these little covers here. And it's pretty straightforward. It does have these little lights that illuminate at nighttime so you can see what you're doing when you plug it in. It has this little status light here on the side as well. So looking at the back, it has a little antenna here at the very top, this flat black. And then you have a little rear wiper. The third brake light is at the top of the glass here. The backup camera kind of looks tacked on. It's kind of offset, which is odd that, you know, usually like FCA vehicles will, you know, have them more centered. This one just kind of looks like a tacked on aftermarket thing going on. And then you have the parking sensors back here. The reverse lights are here at the bottom, and the tail lights are included here all together. Even has a little Made in Torino name there they added. So opening up the lift gate, it's basically hatch. You just press the button, it releases it. It's this electric button, and then, you know, you just lift it up like so. And it has like a soft material here on the inside. If you have the seats occupied with passengers, this is the cargo space. And as it is, it's okay, especially for like you're just getting groceries and things. It's fairly large area there at the bottom, but you can see it tapers quite a bit as you get higher. So up here, it's narrower. So if you have like a large square box or something that's tall, it might be a little bit of an issue, but just like normal groceries and stuff like that, there should be plenty of room for most people. Now under this is just some electrical components and stuff. But yeah, it's usable, but you know, like if you're used to a big vehicle, this may seem a little small. And check out this neat little cute shade right here, which is removable. You can also fold the seats down, and it adds to your cargo space, gives you the ability to pick up larger boxes and stuff, but it's not a flat floor. It angles up quite a bit. So although it does add to your cargo space, it does diminish your passenger space, and it's not like, you know, perfectly flat or anything like that. But if you need to squeeze something in here, it should, you know, help out a lot being able to fold these seats down. As a 60-40 split, so you can fold one side or the other to add to your cargo space while still maintaining passenger space. There's no spare tire. It just comes with a little tire inflator kit, and there's a little tow hook there. So it has a little bag that's accessory bag. You can also put up maybe a small charger or a charge adapter or something like that in here as well. How you use the door handle is there's an electronic switch under here. You just press it to open the door. It's electronic, so it's not like a mechanical switch. It just senses the key and on the outside of the door and allows you to release the door. There's the lock button, and then there's a physical key location behind this little cover. Small vehicle has huge doors, so it's very easy to get in and out, and here in the front. And so they don't have to squeeze in a door behind it like a lot of sedans. So being able to just have a full-size door is excellent. Very easy to get in and out. Now it's a hard touch surfaces on most of the surface here. There's a soft armrest, there's a handle, and you can use that as a little pocket as well, put your cell phone or whatever. It has an electronic switch to release the doors, and there's a mechanical backup down here. And then you have a storage compartment here and here. But yeah, very easy to clean, functional, all that stuff, durable. It has a JBL sound system, which sounds really good. Here's the seats. It's a simulated leather. Has some gray piping and stuff, and then cloth here on the very sides. And it has the Fiat name and stitched into the seat. So you can see a F-I-A-T, Fiat, but then this one it starts with an I, so basically it just kind of repeats, but it's not like necessarily the full name on every line there. But it looks pretty cool, kind of unique. And these are fairly comfortable seats. Getting in and out is easy. Lots of headroom there to hop in. The height of the seat off the ground is very easy to get in and out. It's really good. So it's like a small vehicle, but it kind of has like a crossover height as far as the seat level. So it's just very easy to just hop in and out, and yeah, very enjoyable vehicle in general. There's lots of legroom here in the front. So you can see just overall a lot of space. Now it has some tapering going on right here, but it really is not a big deal because you already have this high seat position, so you feel like you're sitting in a chair already, so you're not extending your feet out too far in front of you. But even if you did, you still have that room there. Now it has a hard touch surface here, non-locking glove compartment, but it's huge. Look how big that is. And we have some more accents here. It's like a gray, and then you have like a off-white or a silver. It's like a metallic, looking nice. And then a hard touch non-reflective dash. Stylish dash, I think. Now this back seat, I mean, it's usable, but it's limited, right? So that driver's seat, if it's all the way back, you can see not much legroom there, right? But it does have car seat attachments back here, so you can see those, easy to get to. It has a center plastic piece with a cup holder, kind of discouraging you from trying to squeeze an extra passenger there, I guess. But yeah, not a lot of, you know, extra things. There's nothing on the back of this console, it's just plastic. But yeah, I mean, there's a back seat, you can fold it down and stuff like that, but you know, it's just like not as usable as like a regular sedan or whatever, but it is usable. Here's the floorboard in front of the driver's seat. Now you notice the floor mat snaps in place. There's the accelerator, brake pedal, decent amount of leg room. There's the footrest there on the left side. Let's take a look under the hood. There's a latch almost in the very center. You just reach in, move it to the left, and lift up. And there's no compartment here. It's just mechanical stuff, which makes it easy to get to the battery and washer fluid and stuff like that. Here's the washer fluid here. Don't want to get that mixed up. You got brake fluid, which you don't really want to mess with unless you have to, and same thing with the coolant here. But as far as like a user, this is what you use, the washer fluid. Just fill that up and don't worry too much about everything else. So there's some insulation there on the firewall. The suspension towers are braced into the vehicle. Battery is easy to get to here. And it has some high voltage wires. That's what the orange wires are. But yeah, other than that, it kind of looks like there's an engine here, and if you're not like a person to know much about engines. It looks like there's this huge thing here. It's metal. It looks like an engine, right? But it's not. It's different components that keep the drivetrain, you know, like inverters and the electric motors up here and stuff like that. It does have the blind spot detection system and the rear cross traffic alert, little indicators there on the side mirror. So that little triangle right here. And basically this door is just like the other side, except for it has a few more buttons. Just the power window switches and the side mirror adjustments here. But the power window switches, it's one touch down, one touch up, non-laminated glass. Manually adjusted seats on both sides. It does have a height adjustment as well. But yeah, comfortable seats. To the left of the steering column, you have a few buttons here. Parking sensors off right here. So you can see this is the off button. When it's off, it has a little light illuminated. Let's turn it back on by turning this off light off. Traction control off, once again, default on. This is the off button. And this is the automatic high beams. And then you have your dimmer switch for the interior gauges here. There's also a tilt and telescoping steering column as well. This vehicle is sitting on 205/45 tires wrapped around 17-inch alloy wheels with a gloss black finish. It also has disc brakes in the front, ventilated disc brakes in the front, and drum brakes in the back. Probably the loudest thing about this vehicle is the climate control. So let me turn this down. Fan inside. You hear that? Even the compressor outside the vehicle and the fan noise still is loud outside the vehicle and inside. That compressor's noise outside is just really, really loud. It's like louder than some engines. Not sure what's going on with that, but yeah, it's a hot day, so I gotta have the air conditioner on a little bit. But yeah, I thought it was kind of interesting, you know, having that loud noise in an EV. It's, you know, sometimes a little, now it is a hot day, okay? So it's like super hot. It's like 96 is the temperature is what it's showing here, but it's actually like, you know, over 100. I think the heat index is like 108 or something like that. So that's part of it, you know. But yeah, there's lots of room here. As far as my leg room and everything, the angle of the footrest is good. I have large feet, so not bad as far as that goes. It's a little bit of a thing going on here with this, but once I get past it, my foot's fine. But it's a little, I'd prefer that not to be so bulging out to where it covers my foot like this. But yeah, I hadn't really had a problem with it though. So just interesting note. It doesn't get in my way at all. And then I have this whole area here and this, lots of room. So yeah, the way it's designed is fine. You know, as far as the legroom and everything. I like the steering wheel. I like the way it's open here at the bottom. It's a little bit soft. It has a two-tone going on. Feels good, looks good. It has the buttons on the back of the steering wheel, which I really like. It lines up with your fingers here. And there's basically an up, a down, and then a center button here. The up and down on this side is the volume for the radio. The center button is the different audio sources. Here on the left side, the up and down is to change through your tracks or whatever, radio station, whatever you're doing, and then the center button cycles through your presets only. So the cruise control, it does have the adaptive cruise control, which you can have the settings here. You turn it on, set, resume, and cancel, and all that stuff. And then you have the distance between you and the vehicle in front of you. You also have a lane keep assist system. Now on the left side, you have the phone button. I like the way it has a voice recognition, and then it has a separate answer and a separate hang up button. And then over here, these little arrows and this OK correspond with this little tiny screen. We'll get to that in a minute. Wiper controls are here, front and rear, and then the turn signals here, but it also has the headlight control and the lane departure warning system. So the headlights basically off, parking headlights, and then on, and you can adjust it from the back or the front as it goes through the entire thing here. Automatic is fine, it works fine. Just leave it on that basically for most people. So here is the gauge cluster. And there's different views you can have. This is the one I kind of prefer. This is kind of like the default one. But it shows your battery percentage, your miles, your range basically with that percentage, outside temperature, and then the status of your adaptive cruise control system there. On the right side, you have what gear you're in, whether the vehicle's ready, or right here. Right here it says run. Now this is very important. When you get in the vehicle and you press this button to start it up, you have to press it twice. The first press turns everything on, and the fans are blowing, and the radio's you know, like everything's on. But for some reason, you have to press it again to actually drive the vehicle, and the air conditioning and stuff like that's disabled until you do that. So like you can get in the vehicle and then you think you've turned it on, but you didn't by the first press. So if you don't know that you have to press it twice for whatever reason, I've never seen any other vehicle other than basically Fiat vehicles. There was an EV cargo van that did that, and I'm like, what's the purpose, right? Maybe you know there's a reason, I don't know, but it doesn't make any sense. Just be aware, when you get in this vehicle, you have to press the start button twice, otherwise, you know, you're just gonna get fooled into thinking you're driving, and you can't. But anyways, so it has a digital speedometer, and then there's a status here. So like you have a charge and then a power. So as you're coasting and going downhill and braking, you're charging the battery. When you're accelerating, you're using energy from the battery. So it just gives you like a little status there. It also shows you what the last speed limit sign it passed. And then the status of your what you have the cruise control set here. And of course your odometer is at the very bottom. So let's use these arrow buttons in the OK. So if we go up and down, we have these different views here. So 1, 2, so those are the different views. It's slightly different. And it kind of like simulates a speedometer. Instead of having that power bar around power bar, has like this side power bar here. And it kind of simulates more of a traditional, to some degree, speedometer, I guess. Now, if you go to the left and right, it has more information here. So that's your home. To the right will be your trip, and it has 2 trips, trip A and trip B, and you can reset those independently. Going to the right again will be your driver assist screen, where it shows your adaptive cruise control, lane keep assist system, whether there's a vehicle in front of you, that kind of stuff. Scrolling to the right again will be your vehicle information, so you have your tire pressure, and then your service. Scrolling to the right again will be whatever's going on with your radio. Scrolling to the right again will be your navigation. So you have to wait for it to load, so you can have the navigation map here or and also on the other screen as well. This is nice if you have a destination set, you need to, you know, you're getting close to your destination, you want to pay a little bit of attention to the map there. Stored messages are there, and then you have a little tutorial here. It's kind of cool. Scrolling to the right again will be your settings, and then go back to your home button there. So yeah, it's a pretty cool little screen. It's functional, and I like the way they have the digital speedometer large so you can actually see it. And so they're making good use of the small screen, I would say, for the most part. All right, so here's the touch screen over here. Now this is not a lot of overlap with this screen and other, like, you know, vehicles like Dodge and you know, other Fiats and stuff like that. So you have these main icons here. So you have home, media, and all that stuff. You also have little buttons up here you can press as well. So you can press that and pull up different categories, favorites. You always go back home. You have these like widgets, basically, screens here. And go into your media, whatever your radio is doing, and then it has satellite radio as well. Climate control settings can be accessed here as well as down here. And so it's a little bit of redundancy there to make it easier. Navigation map is here. Once again, we'll have to wait for it to load up. Your different phones can be paired here. This is where you have your contact information and all that stuff, even a keypad. And then here's your vehicle information. So you have your electric vehicle information, power flow, where the battery, you know, whether the power is coming from the battery or from the wheels with the, you know, coasting down a hill or something like that. You have your driving history, schedules for charging. You also have an AC charging limit, so you can have, let's say you don't want it to charge to 100%. If you want to limit how many amps your vehicle is charging at, you can do that here if you want. Otherwise, it'll just charge at the maximum that the charge cable is capable of. You have different controls here, different settings here. There's your light settings, brakes. Now, I had auto park brake. I prefer to have that on, especially on an electric vehicle. So when you put it in park, it just automatically sets the parking brake. It's an electric parking brake. So why not turn it on, right? Because especially with an electric vehicle, it doesn't have a traditional transmission. So yeah, that's kind of a quick rundown of the screen here. You do have the heated seat controls here, and you can access climate here, your temperature, but once again, the physical buttons down here. Now there's a four-way flashers. The ability to lock the doors is there. It's not on the door. And then you have your temperature for the driver. Basically, it's just that there's no dual climate control. It's just everybody. The temperature does have an automatic function where you want the air to blow. It does have recirculate the air, and then there's the fan speed as well. Now here is a place to put, it's a wireless charger, and it seems to work fine. I have this big bulky case, and it seems to charge fine. This thing kind of gets in the way though. This USB port, this huge bulky thing around it, kind of like makes it towards a little bit of a hard, just like a little bit of a pain to get the phone in place. But once I get it in there, it does charge. And it has like this little cityscape in there, looking pretty cool. And it's like a rubberized bottom. But yeah, when I put it in there, this thing gets in the way. But if I slide it in over to the right and then reposition it, then it seems to work fine. But yeah, I wish that was just smaller, just not in there at all. It just seems like this huge bulky thing is not necessary just to add a USB port. Here's the shifter, so basically buttons. So drive, neutral, reverse, foolproof basically. There's the backup camera with the active guidelines. It looks good, pretty good clarity. Park. There's a cup holder here that you can push up out of the way. And some buttons here. There's a volume for the radio. You press N to mute the radio as well. Electronic parking brake. And then you have this different drive modes. They call it E modes. It has normal, range, and Sherpa. Normal is what I would use. Range basically gives you this is for city driving. I would not use range because I don't like one pedal drive, and that's basically what range is. Sherpa is basically, it's just like for emergencies. Your battery is low and you're trying to make it home or to the next charge station, you put it in Sherpa and then just like try to get there, right? Because it turns off the climate control, it limits your speed, it limits your power. It does a lot of stuff to limit your driving experience, especially the climate control. So if you absolutely need the just like limp mode, that's basically what Sherpa is. So range, well, if you like the one pedal drive, this is not good for highways. It's only good for like city stop and go traffic, that kind of stuff. But that might help out a little bit. But normal drive mode is for me. The other ones are not for me unless I absolutely needed Sherpa for whatever reason. I miscalculated and I failed in my my estimation of the range, that kind of thing. So yeah, that's basically what the drive modes are all about. So it has a USB-A and USB-C ports here. There's also a 12-volt power supply here, which is switched with the ignition. That's what the key stands for. There's a little storage compartment there. There's an armrest, which is not super soft. This lifts up and you have a compartment here, and I got my business cards in there. But yeah, it goes in there quite a ways. It's like this, you know, maybe you can put like a tall box. I don't know what that tall, skinny compartment could potentially be used for, but you know, I'm sure something. Basically turn into the junk drawer of the vehicle. It has an auto dim rearview mirror. It's auto dimming now because I have the shade over the light sensor, and the light sensor is back here somewhere. Yeah, it's back here, it feels like on this side. But yeah, auto dim rearview mirror, and it's a pretty decent size rearview mirror. It's a good thing because you don't have a mirror here. Interesting. It has one on the passenger side, no cover, but it doesn't have one on the driver's side. So you have these emergency buttons here. The interior lights, you can turn them on here, off, or in the center position to turn on with the door. This vehicle is intended to, you know, like use in the city. The lights are just poor, so I probably won't even do a night video because it's not really intended to be used in extreme dark conditions. It's just like you're just supposed to be around streetlights all the time is what it seems like. It does have a vinyl visor, which I like, that it doesn't have a cloth one like the headliner, because if you're touching this, especially women with makeup and stuff, it's so much easier to clean with vinyl than it is with a cloth. So yeah, having a vinyl visor makes sense. Has a little place to put a registration or something here, and your side coverage is basically non-existent. So it doesn't slide out or anything. So yeah, it's, anyways, that side, the sun coming in on the side is gonna be an issue since you don't have any side coverage there. Looking at the visibility here in the back, it has a pretty wide pillar there, but there's so many windows, and you know, your position inside the vehicle where you can see really well. The visibility and just driving this vehicle is easy, very easy. It'd probably be a really good somebody first starting the drive could learn on this. So yeah, you have good visibility. You have good since it's a small vehicle, you can kind of have estimate your size and how big, where you are in position to other things, because it's, small. So there's not like a huge boat that you have to accommodate for all these space around you. But yeah, the visibility's fine. So this vehicle is primarily designed as a city car. It's not really, you could go on the highway with it, no problem, but it's not really designed for long distance travel. It's designed for a tighter area, considering the range that it has. It's designed to charge at your home, and then you drive it around during the day, do your errands, go to work, whatever drop the kids off to school, go to the grocery store, make your errands, and then charge back at home. So I wouldn't count my experience with the battery and the range and all that stuff, I wouldn't count on more than 120 miles per day. That's leaving a little bit of room, just in case, right? And so that's a decent amount. Most people don't drive nearly as much as that, but it's worth understanding that it's not a long range vehicle. It's a vehicle that's for smaller areas, and it's really fun to drive in that context. You have some decent acceleration. It's not like it's fast or anything. It's not like some of these electric cars that are pin you in your seat. It's not intended for that. It gives you decent acceleration, fairly quiet, except for that that at low speeds it has this I think it's mandated by law noise that it has, but it's quiet. It's pretty comfortable and roomy. If you look at it from the outside, you're like, this is a clown car. But when you get inside, it's roomy as the driver and front passenger. Now the back seat is, car seats, that kind of stuff. It's not. I wouldn't drive it if you're gonna have adults in the back seat all the time. That's not really what I would recommend. But as a one or two adults, maybe a car seat, something like that, then no problem. This is really fun to drive. It has a lot of room, and it's efficient, and it won't cost you much. You don't have to worry about getting oil changes. You don't have to worry about going to the gas station ever. You don't have to worry about anything regarding that. You just basically plug it in at home and then drive it, and then just do basic maintenance, like keep up with the tires and refill the washer fluid, that kind of stuff. So there's a lot of benefits. If you ever have to go to get your oil changed, it takes you have to make an appointment or whatever, and then you have to show up, and it might take hours, and drop a vehicle off or pick it up, or whatever it is. It's just an inconvenience, a major inconvenience. It just kind of takes up your day. And going to the gas station, especially in certain places, it becomes a safety risk. So standing there at the pump, even if it is 5 minutes, that's 5 minutes of being in a place that you don't necessarily want to be. And it also interrupts your daily routine. If you're on your way to work, it's like, oh, I'm running late. Oh, I gotta get gas. Darn, that's not fun. I'm going to be later now, right? I'm going to be 5 minutes later than what it was. So So all those things, you don't have to worry about it. So the electric experience to me is just a superior. It's just a superior design, efficiency, and also, you know, it takes up less of your time. And, you know, that's a huge deal. That's a huge bonus in addition to the better ride quality and the you know, just the smooth, quiet, comfortable type ride. Now, this vehicle has a short wheelbase, so it has a little bit of a different feel than a lot of other vehicles because of that. Let's go down on this side right here. One good thing about it is the turning radius is awesome. Like, you can turn around very, very easily. It gets going fast when you need it, but it's not like super duper punchy like some of the electric cars, but it is fast and zippy, zip around town. And so yeah, I'll show you how the turning radius here is crazy. So I can turn the wheel here within this same road and turn around and go back the other way. And for a vehicle with a short wheelbase, it's pretty good. The suspension handles it pretty good. So if you want a cute vehicle, which is not very common, it's not easy to get a cute vehicle anymore. You know, they don't make the Scion IQ anymore. That was the cute vehicle. That was one of the cute vehicles. No, I don't see smart cars as intended to be cute. They're just small. They're not intended to be like, you know, a cute vehicle. This is a cute vehicle, right? So if you want a cute vehicle, this is a good choice. And also, it's not like ridiculously expensive, especially if you get some rebates or incentives and stuff like that, possibly. You know, there's also different, you know, grades. You can get the more or less expensive ones, but it's reasonable, especially considering the savings you will get with not buying gas and not getting your oil changed all the time. And, you know, your time savings and things like that. So yeah, I mean, you know, like taking time off to go get an oil change or whatever from work, that kind of stuff. So the opportunity costs can be saved as well. This is a front-wheel drive electric vehicle with a motor in the front. So it's 117 horsepower, 162 pound-feet of torque. The battery is a 42 kilowatt hour nickel metal battery. And they have an estimated range of 149 miles. I would say that's like not using the climate control or anything. Really, realistically, I would say 120 miles, and then that would give you a decent range and still give you a little bit of extra stuff in the bottom so you don't completely run to zero. And you can charge it, fast charge it, or DC charge, or you can charge it at home. That's where I would highly recommend just charging it at home. And so yeah, you just plug it in pretty much at any amperage, even at 16 amps, all the way up to like 32 or whatever. It's going to be charged overnight, no problem, the entire battery. So just because this is a city car doesn't mean you can't travel fast with it. So let's go ahead and take it out on the highway and go 70 miles per hour and see how well it performs. Longer wheelbase vehicles tend to do better on highways, but even though it does have a shorter wheelbase because it's a short vehicle, it doesn't mean that they can't, adjust the suspension and stuff in order to handle the high speeds. Let's go to the full speed here. Now I'm not flooring it, I'm just accelerating normally, basically. All right. Turn on the lane keep assist system. Put it on 72, 73 so we don't get run over. Okay, so it does have the adaptive cruise control and lane keep assist system, which feels good. It's not really fighting me or anything like that. It feels very solid, not wandering around in the lane or anything either. So yeah, it's handling the high speeds well. Now you can tell, just because it has a short wheelbase, a little bit more. You can kind of feel the more rapid bumps, I guess you can say. It's you know, if you've ever driven a long wheelbase versus a short wheelbase vehicle, there's a different feel that a extremely short wheelbase vehicle has. Like a two-door Jeep Wrangler is very similar, you know, where you drive the longer version and then you drive the shorter version. You can tell it's a little bit of a different experience with with the suspension and all that when you drive. But yeah, this one does well. This is better than the Scion IQ, that's for sure. Scion IQ isn't bad. They kind of softened the rear suspension to kind of adjust, you know, to keep it from bouncing or whatever. But this one definitely does a better job even than the Scion IQ, which I really enjoy driving. And it feels powerful too, even at these high speeds. It has some road noise, but not bad overall. Yeah, I feel like full control. I don't feel like it's uneasy. I remember driving some small vehicles a long time ago. This is probably late 80s or late 90s. And at high speeds, they felt unstable. Feel a little bit, you know, a little bit weird. You know, like you feel like you could lose control at high speed. But this one doesn't feel that. It feels very, very solid. This section of road has some bumps in it, pretty significant ones here. So yeah, feels fine. And the battery pack being on the floor, it has a fairly low center of gravity, so it helps it with being too bouncy or, you know, top heavy feeling. And that's where, when you hit a bump, not only you have springs and you know, shocks and all that stuff, shock absorbers, but you also have weight distribution, and you have not only of the weight front and back, but also how high it is off the ground. And so if it's really high, then it has like this, you know, wobble effect, you know, and so, you know, having a lower center of gravity feels more stable, more grounded.